On today's episode of Watch JR Go, an update to the old $5,000 Corvette. What is going on, guys? I'm Watch JR Go, and today I'm here with my brother, and I've been working on this car for weeks and weeks and weeks, and I've never seen a wheel lock that could defeat me so handily. So I got my universal wheel lock kit, and absolutely none of those fit on this car, and I'll cut in a whole bunch of the video from weeks of working on this thing, trying to get the wheels off. And now, almost 15 days later, we are back on the Corvette shock project. Here's why. So, I have here my 7/8 socket, and I hammered it onto the wheel lock to get it off, because this has stupid GM wheel locks on it, or some kind of wheel lock, and of course I went and got my universal wheel lock kit. Didn't work. Nothing fits. Nothing even comes close to the size of this wheel lock. It's gigantic. It's a spline drive. Anyway, I have the kit for basically everything there is. No spline drive. So I hammered the 7/8 on. This thing came right off. And now I can't get it out of the 7/8. We're gonna have to heat this socket up to save it. All that fun stuff. So, of course, I went over to the Car Ninja. Again, I've borrowed these before. He has the greatest ones in the world. Mac makes these extractors. They are incredible, and why does no one else sell them? I've never seen extractors that work this well in my life. So, I'm gonna guess we're going with the 7/8. Pop that guy off there. Look at that. It fits perfectly. Okay, we've got big boy set on kill. That's 3. Watch this magic. I went ahead and tapped it on with the hammer just a little bit. Okay, this wheel lock is invincible. All right, let's be honest. I am not, nor have I ever pretended to be a welder, but today we're gonna get this trash off of here. It just ruined one of those bolt extractors. Luckily they're Mac, so they'll just come replace it. That is nice. We're gonna try to take a little bit of the chrome off of here. Honestly, these wheels are trash knockoffs. These are not GM wheels or anything like that. See all the chrome flaking off, which would be happening if it was a GM wheel anyway. Look at that. So we're gonna get these wheels off. I don't really care what happens at this point. I told you I'm not a welder. That's really bad. This isn't gonna work. Chrome. Well, after giving my socket a nice charcoal bath, I was able to get the socket out of it. Yeah, she's still a little bit warm there. Let's try to get this on there real quick. Don't need a socket extractor, you just need a torch. All right, let's go heat this up till I destroy the socket again. Well, that worked after I heated the socket up to get the first lug nut out or something, and then this one's completely stuck in there. And it's gonna need like a bath of heat just to get that out. It's permanent, man. I've worked so hard on that. So today, I grabbed one other trick that sometimes works for people. It's right here. This is one of those gator sockets that you're supposed to be able to push on, but I promise you this wheel lock is way too big for this to be possible. So there's the lock. It'll never bite. And that's the issue, is these are a tapered cone, and then they have a very specific lock pattern back in there. You can see where the Mac removers just stripped on them. But yeah, you can't get anything on here. It's just literally impossible. So then my welds wouldn't stick because I didn't have a die grinder here. So I've got the Dremel tool, and we're gonna drag the arc welder over here. Jared said that'll actually work, probably because it'll put enough heat in them. And we're gonna get these things off of here today. I mean, this has literally been a nightmare of hard work.
It might be just a chrome cap, and I just went right through it.
Oh, well, send it.
Yeah, we might have to set down.
Here. I'll hold the wheel. Jack handle plus 1/2 inch ratchet plus 3/4 inch nut. Finally.
And most importantly, an arc welder.
An arc welder. The mega extension. 2 nuts. I mean, this has been impossible. Now that the whole team has been called into action to get the wheel lugs off of this thing, we have won. So shout out to my brother and shout out to the Car Ninja. It even ruined one of those Mac removers. I think I said that a few times, but it destroyed it. I was like, Johnny, I'm sorry, I'll buy you another one. He's like, it's lifetime warranty, don't worry. I was like, all right, just let me know if I need to buy you one. But anyway, they're finally off. This thing cooled down. Let's get the wheels off. This video was supposed to be one of those super easy. Look how easy it is to rip off all the electronic suspension and put the ZO6 suspension in, which is like an order of magnitude better. And it turned out it was like one of the hardest videos ever to make. It took like 3 or 4 weeks. Also, the other reason I haven't made too much content with this car is there are no engine harnesses in the entire USA. It seems weird because there's about 1 billion C5s, but I need a 99 to 2000 automatic convertible, probably. I don't know if convertible matters as much in the wiring harness, but 99 to 2000 Corvette C5 with an automatic engine wiring harness. So if you know where one's at, please let me know. Shoot me an email, whatever it takes. Yes, there's one listed in California on CarPart. It's not actually there. I've talked to that salvage yard. J&J said they could buy me a whole car, but the problem with this is everybody wants dropouts with a harness so you can throw the harness away. We all buy dropouts and we want them to be complete when they show up, and then we rip the harness off and put it on a standalone, you know? So you end up with a pile of harnesses sitting in a box, and there must be a bunch of people with piles of 99 to 2000 Corvette wiring harnesses in a box somewhere. If you know where that is, please get with me, because it's the thing I need to make this car run again. Also a transmission harness, so like both of those. Let's rip the wheels off of this thing and swap the suspension out. It really should not be a big deal, and it's a fun job. And then we can get out the scanner and delete the suspension out of the car so it doesn't bother us about it anymore. We've got all the wheels off the car, and now it's time to show you guys the electronic suspension versus the ZO6 suspension we're gonna put in. Now, I should note the ZO6 suspension has thicker sway bars and a different leaf spring, since these use like a composite leaf spring that runs across the entire car. This is the leaf spring I'm talking about right there. That is basically all of the actual suspension on the car. The shock absorbers obviously are just shock absorbers, and the sway bar just helps slow down that body roll, control that body roll. Take a look at that end link. That is toast. Right there you can see the control for the shock absorber. So the wires, they're right there. That runs into the shock body, and what this does is change the orifice size to, it like opens and closes to increase or decrease the amount of fluid flowing through the shock absorber to change the rate of the shock absorber, which is kind of cool. But these are super old, they're not fast. The new Corvettes that have the good electronic suspension is the magnetorological ones, and those are actually incredible. Those systems pass current through the fluid itself in the shock absorber to change like the viscosity of it. It's really crazy, and it's way better than these old systems that are, you know, pretty garbage and take forever to adjust. It's just no good. I'm only saying all this because people are already throwing a fit in the comments about me putting the ZO6 suspension on it. And first of all, it's my car, and second of all, it's the right thing to do to all of these Corvettes. Also, it's cheap. These are $1,000 a shock, and those are $300 for the whole set. So do it every time. And you know, you should probably do the sway bar too. It's a big upgrade. Once you get the shock out, the entire ride height system can leave as well, because it no longer needs that. Now I've got the new ones open so you can see the difference. First, those actually save a bunch of weight too, but there's the old setup, And there's the new rears, and there's the new fronts. And there you have it. The first one is completely done. Take a look at that. So much cleaner and simpler. And I mean, it's just a couple minute job. I will come back to the sway bar end links and get replacements coming. And you might want to have a way to lift the rear end up and down. Just a floor jack if you've got the car on jack stands, or you know, whatever you need. It does make it a little bit easier to do this. We are done with this side, and a wild Randy appears.
What's up?
So
I like that camera, man.
Oh, thanks, man.
ZV1?
It is the ZV1.
Yeah.
Yes. But you drove all the way here to bring KTM parts?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So we have a selection of KTM parts over here. New spark plug, a new air filter. I wasn't even planning on going that far.
See, I was.
Now we got everything.
But you came and stole it from me. So I like that black color, man,
Yes.
but I got to see what it looks like in person.
Yes. Well, we'll go check it out
All right,
in
cool
just a
deal.
second. The Corvette, good progress. Almost done. I need to pull off this one. Yeah, these ones are already loose up in the top, the 13s. And this one I'm using like a 7/8 on the bottom. I know it's obviously metric, but there's no metric sockets that big over here yet. It's like 22, 23. Randy and I are back from dinner. We went out, took the fire truck around, went for a little drive, checked out the Colt. That thing's super cool. And now it's time to get the front suspension done on this thing. So there should just be a nut right there, which there is, right on top of the shock. And then down here on the bottom, 2 more. And those are like 15s or something. Pretty easy to get to. This one should be actually easier than the back ones. And the back ones were honestly easy too. Hey, the lower bolts are 13s like the uppers were on the back. So this should be super easy. Minimal hand tools, of course. Shocks are honestly one of the easiest things to do. Here we go. Okay, I got them broken loose. I'll use the impact, rip them off real quick. What's funny is there's ride height sensors on every corner of the Corvette. Nobody else does that. Everyone else knows that like 2 is fine. But this thing, they just put them everywhere. All right, all the ZO6 suspension is on. It's time to put the wheels and tires back on the car. We're gonna run around, throw those on, tighten them down, put this thing on the ground, and then we can hop inside, pull out the suspension computer, and program it out of the car. So, we're ready to go. This was a lot of fun. I mean, all that new suspension, look at it. It's just so pretty, and of course, way better in every way, because it's out of the ZO6. This is the race car stuff. So, let's put the rest together and get right onto the programming.
I got one question. Since you're only going 4 lugs,
Can we Canadian Loctite them all on?
Absolutely. Yeah, if you can get a lug nut on sideways, I'll be impressed.
Challenge accepted.
This is the perfect time to unbox my new Icon 1/2-inch torque wrench so we can tighten these wheels down. I used to use my 3/8 torque wrench, but it limits at 100. And of course this thing goes to 250 foot-pounds of torque. Look at that case. Clear window on this thing. See if the torque wrench is in there when it's in your box. Pretty smart, right? And it has this sick lock-in collar for the adjustments. Man, that's pretty cool. All right, let's see how close the old Milwaukee got on one. Really close. Always does. Cool. I gotta go buy the 5th lug nut for this thing. Now I know we have every error in the world on this car that I won't be able to fix until I get that unobtainium wiring harness, but we should have the suspension error. It's been like 5 weeks since this thing's been started. Service tire monitor, yeah, that makes sense. Check tire pressure, yeah, that makes sense. Tire monitor. Service vehicle, yep. Brake before shift, okay. Tonneau char, I know. Service ride control, there we go. We're gonna delete that error completely. We're gonna let this thing run for a minute here. Hey, shocks inoperative. In a minute, after we pull this computer out of the back end, which you have to do, it'll always re-recognize the shocks if you don't do this. Then we will tune out the option and this car will be almost upgraded to a Z51. We'll just need the sway bars. It's time to clean out the rat's nest. It's gotta happen since we're working back here. So we'll start with the old manual on like how to tear the interior apart. C5, whatever. Just trash all that. Oh, this is the column lock bypass. Well, that's cool. Somebody put that in there. This old belt can go. I'm super happy. We got this wrench. Let's see if the grease soundtrack's in here. I mean, if it's in here, oh, we're keeping that for sure. That's a keepsake right there.
Monday, Tuesdays, happy days.
I mean, we're gonna be playing it only on Wednesday and Thursday, but you know. What's in here? This is gonna be poison. Okay, nothing. Obviously keeping the wrench.
Let's see if the rat comes out.
No! Cool, we got this thing all vacuumed out and it looks quite a bit better and there's less rat to worry about. So now this right here, there's a carpet flap here. I should probably pull the old mobile one out in this light, but that's still hooked up. Anyway, we'll pull this flap back after you pull the covers off. There's your suspension computer. Push down on both of these. Rock the connectors backwards. You can leave all the wires, there's no reason to try to mess with those, but you do, I'm gonna take the computer all the way out because it's worth like $300 and I wanna sell it. This thing just sits on some like tension tabs, so just push in and go like that. You'll get it right out. Lift up on it a bit. That's it. So, suspension computer out. Now let's tune this thing out of the car so it no longer expects it. And shove all this back in the hole. A good reason to bust out the Tech 2 with Candy. I'm pretty sure the Autel can do this, but you know, you go old school with this. It'll take me about 40 minutes to remember where the option is, but we're gonna get it figured out. So, plug in your Tech 2, give it some ignition power, and this should not take you very long. I'm pretty sure it's in service programming system. ECU to be programmed, maybe it's not. Let's go to diag. It'd be cool if this thing could recognize the cars right out of the gate like everything else can. 2000 passenger car, chassis, Z. Oh, Y is Corvette, isn't it? Enter. ABS not a. Yep. Enter. Okay, enter. F1. Go for it. Make sure you're up to date. Sure, I'm up to date for this whole thing.
AOL, dog.
It is.
Got a disc in it?
Yeah, I gotta drop in the CD.
How many hours you got?
It's always 1,000 free hours, right?
I think every CD I ever counted, every week it was 1,000 hours. So.
We did the math once, and that was only 30 days. If you use 1,000 hours.
Usually, that was grade school. They just pumped out those discs like crazy.
They did. Tech 2 is ready to request info. Okay, request some info then. If you have a Tech 2, this is usually pretty easy, but mine just, I don't even remember where the option is, and it's so old, it's so hard to use that thing. So we're just on the main menu for the car right here, the VIN number's in, nothing else. We're gonna go to control unit, maybe, and then the BCM, and then special functions, and Twilight Sentinel you can set up if you want, which is pretty cool. BCM, RPO, reprogram. So we have US and Canada cars, V73, okay. DOS, vehicle have RPO Z49. No, that's the Canadian export option. So now we're gonna hit okay. Basically, we're just gonna take out the suspension option, the electronic suspension option. It's F45, which is the real-time damping, always adjusting every wheel. Enter, save, should write it to the BCM. Okay. And remember, like I said, if you left that module plugged in and you cycle the key, it's going to come right back. It recognizes the module and puts itself back. No problem. I think that saved them time when they were building the car. So we should be good now. Let's cycle the key. And we should not see any more shocks inoperative after this. Turn it back on. And hopefully, if everything worked out, there should be no more messages about suspension or shocks. Service tire monitor. Check tire pressure. Service vehicle, trunk, yeah. Ha-ha! The suspension is gone. So there you have it. That is how you swap your ride control or real-time damping Corvette over to the ZO6 shocks. Pretty simple. And when you're done, I just found this computer on eBay for 300 bucks. So I'm 100% listing that computer. Last time I got over 300 for this old junk too. And the ZO6 shocks cost 300. There's probably somebody out there rebuilding them and selling them for like the $1,000 each that they sell for new. So that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to head on over to shop.watchjargo.com where you get cool shirts, not like this. And please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do. And I'll talk to you next time. Well, now you can do the thing that we all dream of doing after you do this, because like pretty much everyone does this, but we all want to put nitrous control on this. Tour is off, and then sport is nitrous on, and then performance is like purge. And then you turn it back to stop purging, but then none of us ever do it.